Hello and welcome, it's Angela here from Stamping Beauty in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for joining me tonight. I hope you've had a lovely day. It's been beautiful here in Christchurch today, lovely and sunny. It's probably a bit cool still, but that's good. It's just nice to have the sun. So tonight, starting off again just with showcasing a little bit out of the annual catalogue. I think I might just get it done in time for the next catalogue that's coming out. We'll have a new mini soon, so want to make the most of this one for the next wee while. So these pages here, designer series paper, and what they've done this time too is brought back some old favourites, so which is really nice, especially, you know, well loved ones. So that's really nice that you can get an opportunity to you know, get them again. So there are a few pages of DSPs, and of course there are some new ones. These beautiful gallery one here, they're totally cute. So lots of options, which is always good. And then these ones here too, which are for the colour family. So you're always guaranteed to have something to go with the colour in the colour families, which is always nice, and they always bring out nice new designs each year, so it's nice to have a bit of a refresh. So those are all the DSPs, and of course too, some are 6x6, like these ones here, and these ones here are 6x6, and some of these other ones 12x12, but it'll let you know what it is. So you know, it'll let you know on here. So those are the DSPs. Onto here, envelopes, note cards and envelopes, normal envelopes, and these assortment. So if you're looking for various sizes, there's something there, and they're beautiful quality, which I always love too. So that's the envelopes. Embellishments, these are always my favourite. I always love a good embellishment, and I've since discovered these loose gold sequins, which I think I'm going to be using a lot of, because of course, you know, I like the gold. But lots of choice, lots of things to, you know, and of course they tie in with the papers. And then here, rub-ons, these are some new things. I haven't even tried those yet, so there's always something new to try. Hi Chris, thanks for coming along, nice to have you here. And ribbon and linen thread in the baker's twine, which I love as well. Can't make a card just about without a bow on it, and I'm proving that tonight. So yeah, so that's we'll leave it there. We'll stay to there, and then we'll carry on next week. Talk about some blending tools. Put that out of the way and bring in the projects that I've got tonight. So I'll give you a bit of a sneak peek of these. So I've got 4 little cards that I've made, and they might all look fairly much the same, but I've actually they're different techniques. So this one here is stamped, just using the infill stamp that's on there. This one here is watercoloured, to look closely. This one here is blends, and this one here is the water pencil, you know, the colouring in pencil. So I thought I'd show you how I made these. So stick those up over there. So I've started with these are in inches. They are 3 inches by 6, folded in half. Now, what I did to prepare these, I just used some 12 by 12 A4 cardstock and cut them all up. And then you got exact number. You didn't have any wasted cardstock. You got exact number out of those, which I thought was really handy, because it's when you've got funny scrappy bits. I mean, they always get used, but it was just nice to use them all up, use it all up. And so it's 7.6 by 15.2 in metric. So I'm just going to set those all aside because I've made enough for 4. And I think sometimes making things in batches is quite fun as well. So then you can either gift them as a gift altogether, wrap them up, or you've got them on standby, ready for something if you need it. So I've got those 4 card bases. Then I've just got this layer here, and this is about 7.4, so about 2 millimeters smaller on both sides. And then I'm using one of the small blending brushes and Balmy Blue ink. I always think blue makes a really nice background, and I always just tap it onto here so that I can pick up the ink again off here, and just try and avoid getting any blobs too on the paper. But I do tend to start where I'm going to be putting an image on, so that if I do a blob, it's covered. And see, it's blobbed a bit there. So try not to be impatient. I always find that really doesn't help. Just add it gradually to get that build up. So just depending how much or how little you want of the background blended. So I have got 3 more made all ready to go. So I'll set those aside. Then out of this, so I'm using, this is a Perfectly Pears and the coordinating dies. And in this set, so it's an online exclusive, so if you look in the catalogue you won't be able to find it because it's online, so check online. So then it's got this gorgeous little hashed die, and I thought that looked really good, just popped behind the pear, the pears. So I just die cut that, and with something like this I always go through twice just to make sure I get a good cut and less chance of having any little of those funny little bits stuck in the die. Scrape those off. They always end up all over the floor, even if I try not to, try and be careful. So that's come out really well, just a few in there, just get rid of those. And then what I did with those, because they're going to be, it's going to be hidden by the pear, I just popped a tiny bit of Stampin' Seal in the middle, and then just popped that on an angle I thought I would like, and popped it on, because the pears are going to sit on top of that, so it doesn't matter if that still ends up being a little sticky. Oh, hi Nicole, thanks for coming along. So just pop, so I'll just spread them out, I won't put them on top just in case they are. The other thing too with blending, and I know I talk about this every time I do it, but it does seep in and sort of into the paper, so don't worry too much. And when you have got bits and pieces over it, you don't notice that it's not exactly perfect. Right, so I've got all those ready to go. So now what I'm going to do, each one needs to be stamped either with different ink or on different paper. So this one here, this one is where I'm using the infill stamp. I call it an infill, I don't know if that's what the name of it is, but it fills in that stamp. And then this is the outline stamp. So that can just be stamped on ordinary white paper. So I've got some ordinary white cardstock, and it can be stamped with Memento ink. It can be stamped with Stays On too, but you may as well just use Memento because it's easy and less cleaning if this is all you're going to be doing. So stamp that. Then what I want to do is stamp that image. So what I did, I stamped it in Petal Pink first because I wanted that to be the main colour. Then I got some Daffodil Delight. Oh, hi Gay, nice to have you here. And then I got the Daffodil Delight and I put some ink on here on the dauber, and then I wanted it to be, oopsie, just on that lighter side, so I just dabbed a little bit along the edge and then sort of just did it on the edge just a little bit there, and fingers crossed that that works. And then to get that sort of orangey colour there, I used Calypso Coral and the same dauber and just did it sort of on the edge, and then went in here and just dabbed in there, and then on this side. Then those all out of the way. Then I want to pop this up on here and stamp this onto here and hopefully get it exactly in the right place. Looks pretty good. And hey presto. So it's probably a bit brighter than the last one I did, but that's okay. They always end up looking a little bit different. And then for the leaves, I think I'll just watercolor those a little bit. And even though, actually no, I'll just use the blends. I'll just color that in quickly. Just doesn't matter mixing and matching a little bit. Just to quickly, because there isn't a stamp for that. So I'll just add a bit of colour. And I did do a lot of shading on those other ones, so I will just put a little bit of dark. I won't worry too much. And then there is a die for that, so it always makes it easy. So just pop that on there and run that through. So the daubers are great because they just give you the chance to get your colour, you know, different colours on the one image. So that is all ready to go onto there. So I'll set that one aside. Then this one here, that I might do this one next. This is the blends one. So on the blends I use thick white cardstock because it doesn't bleed so much. So same thing, and same we're using the Memento ink because this is water based and the blends are alcohol based, so you want the opposites. So get that on here, stamp that on there. And blends, I love colouring with the blends. Just cut that in half so I don't have to worry about that. Leave that for the next one. So I've got the same colours that I used for this. I've got Petal Pink. I've got light, dark. I've got some Calypso Coral. And I've got Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to do exactly the same colours just in getting blended in. But what I did with this one is I totally started off colouring in the pear with the blends. Does anyone else like blends? I was a bit nervous. Sometimes it is a bit nerve-wracking trying something new, but once you sort of have a wee play around and work out what works for you, it is sort of got to get in there. And even now, sometimes, you know, things don't always go as I expect, but it's just life, isn't it? Seems to be a bit like that. So I'll just put a bit of yellow here just to give that touch of yellow on there. And I'm going to go back in with the dark and just try and blend that. Probably it's not showing up really well, and it is quite light. And then the Calypso Coral, just going to bring that in around here. And where I got the colouring idea for this was from actually the paper that comes in the set. I thought it looked really pretty. And it's always nice to have a bit of a guide. Oh, you like the blends now? Yeah, it is just one of those things, isn't it? Just playing around and getting a bit of confidence. And I find just going like this in circles does help blend it a bit and sort of soften those lines a bit. And that's it. Simple. Just lots of scribbling really. So I'll just go around, do this exactly the same. So just colour it in with the light. And I always think, like, work in one area at a time, because while they're sort of still a bit wet, they will blend. That sort of helps with the blending process. I'll do the same thing. And these will change too as they dry. And lots of just scribbling in circles. I just find that circle motion. It's a bit squeaky. I'm not sure if you're getting all that squeak. Got several sets here. And that is, I kind of like that actually. It's got a bit of light in the middle. And then for that one, for the leaves, all I did was go in with the light. I better check that's the light. Right. Go in and fill that all up. So if you don't like colouring, that infill stamp does help. There is one for the bigger two pears as well, or the bigger pear actually, it's the single one. So you've got a few options for colouring, or even just buy the paper and fussy cut, because it's got some beautiful images on that. I'm really addicted to these pears at the moment. Right, so that's that one there. So that's your blends. So yeah, don't be afraid. Just, it's a shame, isn't it, if you have things in your craft room and you don't use them. You may as well. So once again, cut that out. And there are a few different sentiments in this. Congratulations. A good friend is a gift. Hello, thank you, and friend. So few options. So that, and of course free shipping tomorrow, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so really good time to get your purchases in if you've got things you want to buy. But just make sure that it is 100. If you've got some credits and stuff, just make sure that it does add up to the right amount, because you don't want to be shortchanged. But you'll see, it'll show you on the checkout anyway. Stays on. So stays on we need for watercolouring and for the pencils, which is watercolouring as well. So this one I'm doing on watercolour paper for the actual watercolouring. and this is with the stays on. And then the other one I'm just doing with the thick, with the watercolour pencils. So I'm not adding much water, it can go on the thick. So that stays on. So that's your special one for, which is solvent ink, and you have to clean that separately with different cleaner. So this one, I will do the watercolour one first. And I'm just using the ink off the ink pads. I always find that the easiest way to add some colour. Use your water painter. And what I tend to do is add the dark colour first. Do the dark down, I'm doing that so as if I'm imagining the light coming this way. Just put some green down here, the old olive. Get it as dark as I can, so not add too much water. Get that down there. And then while I'm here, I'm just going to colour those stems, which are pretty fine, but this point on here is really fine. And then I'm going to go on, hopefully it will have dried just a little bit, just soaked in, just to add some water without losing some depth that is already there. So just taking a bit of that colour out, but not all of it. I don't want to wash it away. I want to have that variation. You can blur that line a little bit, just go over it. And if it has dried too much, just pick up a bit more ink and then just blend it. I just find if it's too wet, it blends too much and you lose any variation. And it's nice to have a bit of, you know, the difference in colour. So that's the old olive, and I'm doing exactly what I did with the others. Putting those three colours together. So we've got a bit of Daffodil Delight, and watercolouring's the same. If you're a bit nervous about painting, just have a wee practice and experiment. I mean, even sometimes I sort of forget where I'm going with it and it changes, but I love that sort of unpredictability of what I'm going to get. So just put that Daffodil Delight, then I'm going to go in with the Petal Pink, and I do want these colours to sort of merge a little bit. So that's quite subtle. A bit of fluff on there, you probably can't see it, but it's annoying me. Does not want to come off. I'll brush it off actually. And you can keep on adding colour too. You can go back after it's dry, or you can use your heat tool and dry it a little bit, add a bit more colour. Just whatever takes your fancy. Add more water so it blends a little bit more. Right, I think that's okay. And then I'm just going to go in with the Calypso Coral just to... oh yeah, it is therapeutic, isn't it? I find myself sort of, the time disappears when I'm colouring. I guess that's why those colouring in books were so popular, weren't they, with adults? So it's not around so much now, but so I'm just going to add that Calypso Coral in there just to get a bit of depth of colour. And I also like when I watercolour not to totally, you know, I don't mind if there's gaps of white as well. I just like that. This gives a bit of movement. so pretty much that's it. I'm just going to leave that a little bit to dry before I die cut it. Hope that it, otherwise I'll use my heat tool. And then the last one I'm going to use is the watercolor, and this is so simple. You just get, so they didn't have so many options in colors, but I just, for the leaves, I just got added a bit of color where I wanted the dark bit to be. And oh, I was sharpening these today, and they sharpen beautifully. You know, quite often you sharpen a pencil and it breaks away, the lead breaks. It didn't have any of that. It was just beautiful, easily sharpened. So I was really impressed, because I've used them heaps but have never had to sharpen them, so they go a long way. So, and you just add the water from the brush and it just blends the colour. Hopefully you can see how it's done that, got light and dark there. And if you want a bit more dark and you don't want to, I just put a bit on the paper like that and pick it up and add it to get a bit dark, which works really well as well. So it's a wee tip. And then with this, with the yellow, just put the yellow on here, put the yellow on there, put the Calypso coral around here, do the same thing around here. Fill that in, and then do the same, clean the brush off, don't want any green on it, just pick that colour up and it just blends beautifully. Just so easy, and pick it up. Just it's like those magic books you have when you're a kid. Even though you've popped the colour down, you can see it. It just, I just might do a little bit darker here, and that's it. Super easy. So yeah, hopefully you won't feel intimidated colouring in things. So and especially I think too, start with something little like this, because it's small. It doesn't matter if you mess it up. And actually, when I was playing around with it, having a practice yesterday, I took about 4 goes I think before I was happy with the blending with the blender pen. So it is, even, you know, I've been using them a long time. Sometimes you get different, you don't get the result you're wanting first go. So just die cut that one. I usually die cut first before I colour, but I'm not having, it's going okay today, so that's good, because sometimes I worry about that. And then this one here, and you can make this darker if you want, add more colour, add more pencil. Just, it's good that you can have options. And that's the last one there. So then it's a matter of just popping these all together. So I just put dimensionals on the back of all of those. So it is easy, isn't it? Just having a wee production line. And while you've got everything out, that's half the battle, isn't it? Getting everything out, putting it all away. So take all those backs off. And then I'm just going to pop those onto there. So that looked quite different than my last one, even that one. So You don't always get exactly the same, even if you think you are doing exactly the same. And then a bow. So linen thread, love linen thread. So I've already gone ahead and tied some bows with those. So just the normal, do a wee loop around, pull it through. Get the loops hopefully the same length. And chop that off. I thought I'd made enough, but I seem to be one missing. I have to make another one. Glue dots. I always think glue dots are great for a bow, and it's going to be tucked in behind the thank you. So just pop it in. I just pop it down sort of there, so it's not going to be too lumpy and bumpy. And another one just in here. And this layout you could use for any small little image. I think would look super cute, such as sort of, you know, with the blended background. Easy peasy. There. That one. I'll finish that one later. And then these, I've just turned them all over. I won't, maybe I don't need to, you know what I'm doing. Just put some dimensionals on the back of those. Just do this one and then I'll finish the other ones off later. And pop. I do think it just looks better popped up, just rather than flat. Pop that on there. Then you've got that cute little thank you out of that set. So it's a handy little card, but you could put, of course, any sentiment. Just want something small. There is friend and hello, so they would work really well as well. Just small, and then just the memento is all you need. And a quick stamp. So that's quite a bit thick at one end. And then, of course, I use my classic label punch, which is perfect for this size. I wish they would bring it back. I need to keep on requesting that in the sandbox. Cut that, punch that out, trim off the ends. You know the drill. It's cut those off. Then that is going to straddle that bow, so it needs 2 on this side and 1 on that side. And just cut them in half. So 2 on this side, 1 on that side. Pop another one on top, and then just bring it up from here so it's nice and straight. Oh, that's getting in the way. Nice and straight. Oops, it does not look straight. I think that looks right. And then you can trim off the edges of the ends of these if they seem a bit long. And then I've used these gorgeous little Charming Shimmer Faceted Dots. They come in Berry Burst, Night of Navy and Petal Pink. So of course I've used Petal Pink in here. So one large one over here and one little one here. in another little one. I don't know if is that too many too many embellishments on such a little card. Actually, it's poking. Why is that not sticking down? Take the back off that. There. Oh, hi Lucia, thanks for coming along. Just about finished. I need to give you a call actually. I need to catch up. So that one is the same as that one there, which is the blend. So those are the 4. So you've got just your stamping, your watercolouring, your blends, and the watercolour pencil. So fairly similar, but you know, if you have a colouring choice preference, it's a good way to you know, to know that you can colour them in differently and maybe have a little bit of a change and try something new. So if you do, tag me, because I always love seeing if anyone's made something that I've even inspired, or they've just decided to try some colouring, because I know you know, sometimes these things we make them a bit scary, but they don't need to be. So thanks for watching. I'm glad you liked them, Chris. Thanks for coming along, everyone. I hope you have a good Tuesday evening, and we'll see you back here next week, hopefully. Take care. Bye.